Dear students, very good morning to you all. Once again, I welcome you to this video lessons presentation. I am Dr. Gopala Sudarshanam, Senior Assistant Professor of Commerce, working at Government Degree and PG College, Gajwel, Siddipet District. Today, we will discuss Probability Theory Part 1, in which we will discuss about introductory part of probability theory, meaning, definition of probability, derivation or origin of the probability theory, formula used for computation of probability and its elaboration with suitable example. We also learn application of probability theory and key terms that are used in probability theory. And again, the most important two terms of the probability theory, experiment and event definition, can be seen, and various types of events can also be discussed. Now, let us go to the introduction part of probability theory. What is probability theory? Before we enter into the scientific and mathematical definition of probability theory, let us force our concentration over certain terms. Like in our day-to-day life, we come with some things which are very certain, some activities which are very uncertain, some things are impossible to happen, certain things are likely to happen, and some things to happen, there will be a chance to certain events. For example, the death is certain. A person who born certainly has to reach to the death. Death is certain. Similarly, certain things are there impossible. We regularly come across with the application of these terms. It may be impossible to do so, or there is a chance to get a rain today evening, and when there is a match between India and Bangladesh, there is likely to happen that Bangladesh may win against India. Of things we make use in our day-to-day conversation as well as subjective approach also. So, if all of the following what we just discussed that are presented in a diagrammatical way in the present slide, that if all of the following, what are the following? Certainty, certain, impossible, likely, chance. These 5 terms, if all are together, leads to a specific study, it is called probability theory. If we want to study togetherly about certainty, certain, impossible, chance, likely, then it is called probability theory. What does it mean? When a particular thing happens, how can you say it is certain? What is the certainty of that incident? What will be the chance? How can you anticipate it? How can you forecast it? And if sometimes you used to say it is impossible to happen, so if there is a cricket match between Bangladesh and India, if some of your friends may say that Bangladesh may win, there is a chance to win the match by Bangladesh, then immediately, with our own experience, observation, and some knowledge over cricket and previous experience and results of India versus Bangladesh match, you may say it is impossible. How can you say impossible? What made you to pronounce so? And what is the chance to happen so? What is the likeliness of happening particular accident or incident? So if these all terms studied togetherly, that is called probability theory. So that When we want to know more concise meaning of probability, you may find from this slide. This concept was visualized by the gamblers. Actually, the theory of probability was first conceptualized, visualized by the gamblers. In the games of chance, they used it in horse races, in playing cards, dice throwing, isn't it? There they first used that, mostly used in games of chance. And in fact, it was the oldest branch of modern mathematics. This probability was one of the branches of mathematics. Today's modern mathematics has so many branches previously, so that it is one of the oldest branch of the mathematics, and possibility to predict some outcome based on the probability theory. By making the study of probability, we have a possibility to estimate, forecast, or predict the long term outcome. Now, if we want to have a constructive and a scientific definition, we will see from this slide that mathematically probability is defined as under: if there are n mutually exclusive, exhaustive, and equally likely cases, and m of which are favorable to certain event E is called probability. Generally, a layman cannot understand so easily by looking at this definition. But if we derivate some problems, if we go some more deep, you know, expansion of the formula, we may understand it. Simply, the probability means happening of or chance. You can, interchangeably you may use it. The impossibility or possibility, certainty, uncertainty, chance, etc. of certain thing can be represented with the following formula. So that the probability of occurrence of E, that is equal, E means here event, is equal PE is equal to M by N. What is N? What is M? That we will find over from coming slides also. Now, coming to the origin of the probability theory, if we go in deep, if we study some historical background of the probability theory, we could find that it has its origin in the century. The theory of probability, which was visualized by the gamblers, was first originated during 16th century. First coined it in a book. The usage of the probability term was made first in a book named Games on Chance. It was the book in which the term probability was first used. That book was written by Italian magician and mathematician J. Cordon. So that the term probability was first used in a book called Games on Chance. That book was written by the Italian magician and mathematician J. Cordon. After that, there are a few more who have significantly contributed for the growth and development of the probability theory and its studies. They include James Bernoulli, who has proposed a binomial theory of probability distributions. And during the period 1654-1705, he was the his period. James Bernoulli, De Moivre, and Fiery Simon are other significantly contributed personalities to the probability study. As I said, this probability theory is more based on games of chance, that is tossing a coin, playing cards, and throwing dice, horse race, and some other kind of gambling games. Now, coming to the elaboration of the formula. As I said, probability of certain event E is equal, occurrence of particular event is equal M by N. That is, M is equal, see, probability E, PE is equal probability of occurrence of an event. For example, if you have 2 red balls, 3, 5 balls, and just you keep in a box, shuffle it more. If you want to pick it up, well, what is the probability of that particular ball being red? Or what is the probability of that ball being blue? So that can be assessed, anticipated with the theory of probability. So it is more, instead of a thumb impressive method of anticipation, if you apply the theory of formula of probability, your results and your anticipation will be very close to the reality. So that in probability theory, the formula used is PE is equal to M by N. PE means probability of occurrence of an event or an incident or thing. M is equal number of cases favorable to event E. What are the number of favorable cases to happen that event? N is total number of cases. This can be more easily understood by this slide. Just look at the slide carefully and read yourself that if a box contains 4 red balls, 5 green balls and 1 blue ball. You take a box. In that box, there are 4 red balls, 5 green balls, and 1 blue ball. Then, now the question is, what is the probability of getting red ball? If you want to pick, what is the probability of getting red ball? The event of occurring of red ball means there are 4 red balls. So, the probability of getting red ball is 4 by 10. What is 10? The total number of balls in the box, isn't it? That is indicated with small n as per the previous formula and its derivation. N is total number of cases. Means the favorable events. See, what is the favorable event we want to anticipate here? The probability of getting red ball. In a box, though the total number of balls are 10, our red ball number is 4 only. So the favorable cases are 4. Out of total balls, 10. So that the probability of getting red ball will be 4 by 10. Similarly, what is the probability of getting green balls? 5 by 10. Obviously, probability of getting blue ball is 1 by 10. Then, application of probability. See, this probability theory, where we use it more, in which area we can apply it. In general, though it is the oldest branch of the modern mathematics, people may think that it is exclusively a mathematical application, but absolutely not. It may be the branch of the mathematics, but its usage is wide. It can be applied to make so many of studies in different disciplines. Just look at this slide. You can find we can apply the theory of probability in biological science, economics, genetics, physics. When you take the economics to prepare plans, to prepare budget, to estimate the cost and budgetary estimations, those are all made based on the probability theory. And sociology, business management, decision making process, in almost all these areas, very significantly the theory of probability, its elements, its theorems are applied. Now, the key terms in probability theory. What are the very important terms we use in probability theory? Those are all two. One is experiment, second one is event. What is experiment? What is event? What is experiment? It is an operation that can have multiple outcomes. Experiment is an operation which can have multiple outcomes. In other words, it does not have a certain or unit outcome. When you do one operation, isn't it? Let me say the operation, there is a match, cricket match between A and B team. What will be the outcomes? A may win, B may win, match may get tie, match may cancel, even so many things may happen. So that the experiment is what? It is an operation that can have multiple outcomes. In other words, it does not have a single or unique outcome. When you do the experiment, we cannot say result is certain, result is only one. Can we do so? For example, an experiment I want to do, in your hand I can throw 1 rupee coin, 2 rupee coin, 3 rupee coin, I mean sorry, a 5 rupee coin, 10 rupee coin, if it is, and all they can be shuffled in a box, and secretly I want to pick it up. What will be it? If I want to conduct an experiment, pick a coin, what will be the outcome? Maybe 1 rupee coin, 2 rupee coin, 5 rupee coin, 10 rupee coin, likewise. So that an experiment is what? It's an operation conducted scientifically, and the results will be multiple ways. Outcome will be multiple. It will not have single or unit outcome. Hence, experiment is sometimes termed as a random experiment or a trial also. Trial also. If you toss a coin, it's an experiment. What will be the outcome? It may fall head, it may fall tail, it may not fall, somewhere go away itself, and somebody may catch a coin in the air itself, and sometimes it will be either not head or tail in center. These are called multiple outcomes. So experiment is an operation, an event, isn't it? A scientific method by which we will have huge number of outcomes. Then what is event? The event is that the possible outcomes or results of an experiment are called events. When you conduct experiment, we will get some result. When you toss a coin, tossing a coin is experiment. And if I ask you to pick one card from the playing cards packet, that is an experiment I'm asking you. And what is the result? If you pick a card, what it will be? What its number? Maybe A, maybe K, maybe Q, maybe J, 10, 9, 8, 6, 5, 4, 2, like that. And when you toss a coin, tossing a coin is experiment. Then what is the result? Maybe head or tail, like that. No. So that is called an event. So the possible outcomes or results of an experiment are called events. These events, as we just discussed, may be of many types. Yeah. What are the different types of events as per the probability theory? Those are elementary events, composite event, exhaustive event, mutually exclusive events, equally likely events, independent events, complementary events, and sample space. These are the 8 important events or classification of events we have. Let us have a brief look on each. What is elementary events? What do you mean by elementary event? Elementary events are the events that cannot be further divided into sub-events. See, when you conduct an experiment, remember, we should be very clear about the difference between experiment and event. Experiment is an operation or conducting one occasion. Then what is the result of that occasion? What is the result of that experiment? What is the outcome of experiment is event. So event is the result or outcome of the experiment. That should be very clear. Event is always a result. Whatever operation you do, whatever experiment you do, it can yield some result. That is result is called event. Now this event, as we just discussed, are categorized into 8 types. First one is elementary event. What do you mean by elementary event? the event which cannot be further subdivided. We cannot divide them into sub-events. That is called elementary event. For example, you toss a coin. Result is either head or tail. But again, head and tail cannot be divided into further. What is further? Whether it is even number head or odd number head, whether it is even number tail or odd tail, can we divide so? Certainly no. So no other natural feature we can find for that event. Either that or this, no question of subdividing them. So that if an event is not able to divide into sub-events, that is called elementary event. Composite events. This is quite reverse to the previous one. Composite events are the events that can be further divided into sub-events. Here, this kind of events can be subdivided into sub-events. We will further divide into sub-events. It is quite opposite to the elementary event, as we said. Example, toss a dice. You know the dice? Dice will have 6 faces. It will have 6 numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. In our first slide, I shown you. Just let me get back to that. Yeah, look at this. The right side, a red dice is there, no? Yes. See, 5 white dots, 3 white dots, 6 white dots, 2 other faces are there. That is 2 and 1, 2, 1, and bottom line maybe 4, like that. So that this is a dice which will have 6 faces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So if, as per the composite events, if any event is further divided into sub events, that can be called as composite events. As I said, if you toss a dice, result may be first one. The result may be, when you throw a dice, result may be even or odd number. Even number in a dice, as I said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers will be there. 6 faces will be there. If it fall 2, that is even 2. If it is fall 3, that is odd 3. So that first we will divide the face of the dice as even or odd. But again, even can be 2, 4, 6. Odd can be 1, 3, 5. This is called composite events. Then exhaustive events. When an experiment is conducted, it may result in any of multiple events. See, when you conduct an experiment, the results may be of multiple events. The result events may be multiple. Such events are said to be exhaustive. We cannot limit to 1 or 2. The results can be exhaustive. Then that is called exhaustive events. In other words, all possible events in any trial are collectively called exhaustive event. We cannot restrict to unit or certain events only, certain results only. The line and the size of events is exhaustive, multiple, many flow. Then here all outcomes that are possible will be covered by these events. Then mutually exclusive events. If the happening of any one of the events prevents the happening of the other event, is called mutually exclusive event. Remember, if the happening of any one of the events prevents the happening of the other events, is called mutually exclusive events. My dear student, let me again get back the example of tossing a coin. When you toss a coin, right? When you toss a coin, what will be the events? Means what will be the result? Maybe head or tail. But both cannot happen simultaneously. Both cannot happen at a time. Either head, tail can fall. So if the happening of any one of the events, for example, the happening of head is falling. So that what is happening? It is preventing the happening of the other event. Preventing means restricting, stopping, for not happening the another event. When head is fall, automatically head is preventing the coin to not go for tail. So that if the happening of any one of the event or the results prevents the happening of the other events, is called mutually exclusive event. If you take a dice, if you throw it, the result is number 3, it is showing. So it's what is happening? The happening of 3 is preventing the happening of other results. What are the other results? It has to be 1, it has to be 2, it has to be 4, 5, 6. But these are prevented, stopped, restricted by happening of the 3. This is called mutually exclusive event. Therefore, mutually exclusive events cannot happen simultaneously in the same trial. When you toss a coin, head and tail simultaneously will not fall. When you throw a dice, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 number cannot happen at a time. If you participate in a horse race where 4 horses are taking the competition, all 4 may not win the race. So the happening of one can prevent the happening of others. This is called mutually exclusive events. Next, equally likely events. Events are said to be equally likely when there is no reason to expect any one of them rather than any one of the others to happen. Events are said to be equally likely when there is no reason to expect any one of them rather than any one of the others to happen. Those are called equally likely events. Means when you conduct an experiment, if there are multiple events, if there are multiple results, all multiple results will have equal likelihoodness, equal possibility. For example, again, let me get back those two only. If you toss a coin which has head and tail, can anybody say that there is more possibility to get head than tail? Certainly no. Both are equally likely to happen. If you throw a dice, it may fall 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those are equally likely events. There is no reason, say, no, 2 only it can fall, because why it can fall 2? Why can't others? Do you have any reason? Certainly no. So that events are said to be equally likely when there is no reason at all to expect any one of them rather than any one of the others to happen. Yes, if a dice is printed 6 faces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If 2 faces are printed with the same number, let me say 2, 1, 2, and another face is also 2, then no, there is no 3, 4, 5, 6 like that they have printed. Then we will say that little more possibility to happen number 2, because the condition is violating here. The face that number 2 is repeated more. There is a valid reason. But in general, as it said, no reason. But previous case, all 6 faces are printed with 6 different numbers. Then there is no reason to expect a particular number only occurs, particular result only come, particular event only happens. Can we have any reason? No. So that are called equally likely events. In other words, there is no reason to believe that a particular event has a greater chance of occurring. Nobody can say. When you toss a coin, can anybody say there is a greater chance of getting tail or a head? Completely no. Then independent events. What do you mean by independent events? Two events are said to be independent of each other if the occurrence of one event does not have any impact on the chance of occurrence of the second event. Independent events. The results are independent. When you Falling of head is independent. Similarly, falling of tail is also independent. Is it the tail is dependent on head to fall it? Certainly no. Based on the contribution of the head, tail may get fall. Certainly no. So that both are independent. They have equal chance to fall. So that two events are said to be independent of each other. If the occurrence of one event does not have any impact on the chance of occurrence of the second event. Those are called independent events. Then, for example, as I said, if you take a coin, head and tail are independent. But when there is a running competition, A and B are the participating competitors. A is an independent participant, B is an independent participant. Equally, they are competent enough to participate in the competition. But B is to win the competition of running, B is dependent on A. There is an understanding between A and B. A assured the B that I can run slowly. Then anybody can assess the result. The event is that B is going to win if it is disclosed. Because the two events are said to be independent of each other. If the occurrence of one event does not have any impact on the chance of occurrence of the other, we said. If A has no impact on B to win, then it is independent events, both A and B. But A has an impact. A said that I can run slowly. I want to make you win. Then it is not independent events. Result will not be the independent. But obviously in probability theory, the event independent. They will not depend on each other or any other event. Next, complementary events. If two events are exhaustive and mutually exclusive, they are said to be complementary events. Remember, it is very important. If two events are exhaustive events, means the results may be exhaustive. We cannot say unit certain, and we cannot say in a fixed manner. Then those are the complementary events. If two events are exhaustive and mutually exclusive, they are mutually exclusive. They are said to be the complementary event. They should have both features, exhaustive as well as mutual exclusiveness, as we discussed in our previous case. Now, the last one is sample space. What is sample space? The set of all possible outcomes of an experiment is called sample space. The set of all possible outcomes of an experiment is called sample space. Sample space means all possible outcomes. The possible outcomes or the possible events may be exhaustive, exclusive, independent, whatever you said, are called sample space. Each element of the sample space is called sample unit. In a sample space, it is very important question even for the competitive exams. Remember student, each element of the sample space is called sample unit. This is about today's lesson. So we have totally the theory of probability divided into two parts for our video lessons. Part 1 is taken today. Part 2 we will have in the next class. But as for the lesson outline, today what we discuss, what is the probability, what is its meaning, and what are the interchangeably used terms of probability like certain, certainty, chance, impossible, like likelihood, such words, and the origin of the probability theory. Then what is the formula? Probability of particular event is equal to m by n. M is the targeted result or expected result, by n is total number of things are involved in that box or the experiment. That we use the formula we have derived. And what is the difference between experiment and event we discussed. Then what are the different types of events Those are also we discussed very briefly, like elementary events, composite events, mutually exclusive events, what is equally likely events, independent events, complementary events, and sample space also we discussed. And the two important terms, very familiar terms that are used in probability theory, we discussed experiment and event. What is experiment also we discussed, that is an operation conducted and which can yield multiple outcomes is called experiment that we learn. And event is we understood as a result of experiment. By this, today we will stop this part 1 of probability theory. Tomorrow we will go to the part 2, where we will discuss some other points and some illustrations also. Thank you.